There is no answer to the fact that since the consumer has entered into an agreement with his eyes open, therefore, he is bound by the statutory contract or that the board has to cater to outlaw and it has worked out 40% contract demand so as to keep the energy going even during the inability of the supplier or of the consumer stock, where even the minimum 40% of the contract demand energy is not supplied by the board and the board claims charges for the same, it is nothing but travesty of justice stop pair. Difficulty arises only when the board is unable to supply minimum of the 40% of the contract demand stock. In case the demand is more than 40%, then automatically of the contract demand charge is covered stock. But where the board supplies only 20% of the contract demand and charges for the minimum 40% of the contract demand, can this liberty be given to the board in face of such inequitable and arbitrary action of the board on the plea that the consumer has entered into a contract with his eyes open and the board has to cover various outlays? Interrogation. In our humble opinion, this will be inequitable, arbitrary, and unreasonable to sustain such an argument. Stop. This court are not here to do technical justice. Stop. The courts are also courts of equity. Stop. When clauses 11 and 23 of the agreement make a provision for two situations, that is, in the event of inability of the board to supply energy or in the event of inability of the consumer to consume the contract demand stock, then in either case charges are made on the reduced supply, then there is no justification to say that so far as 40% of the contract demand is concerned, the board is under no obligation to supply 40% of the contract load stock pair. It may be relevant to mention here that in the case of measures Northern India Iron and Steel, AIR 1976 SC 110 with bracket supra, though clauses of the Haryana Electricity Board and Bihar State Electricity Board were not exactly akin to the present clauses, but all over the country a model agreement provides for the proportionate rebate in the event of inability of the supplier to supply energy and that of the consumer to